Hey guys, I want to show you something. Hopefully you can see this. Check out how big this cicada is. It's massive, right? That's huge. It's like the biggest cicada I've ever seen. He's still alive. He's just been there. He was there last night and he's still there this morning. And I'm doing our base chakra live stream out here because it's beautiful and sunny and it's starting to go green again because it's been raining again and storming and all sorts. But there's a reason that I showed you that cicada, okay? So the cicada is massive, right? Massive cicada. And like I said, he's been on my door. Yeah, it stopped raining and all of a sudden it's green. It's like somebody painted the grass green overnight. It's literally how fast it turns. You know how you can like water the garden and water the garden and water the garden with the hose, and it just like, it doesn't do anything but the tiniest bit of rain and everything's like, oh, it's amazing, like green and everything's lush and growing again. So yeah, hi guys, welcome. So there's a reason that I showed you the cicada at the start of this live stream. Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, it's so massive. Hey, Deborah. And we're on base chakra. Yeah, so base chakra is sexuality. Base chakra is our finances. It's our career. It's our life purpose. So let me share this and then I'm going to talk about what cicada is because it's really symbolic, because the cicadas are really quite amazing. Hi. Yes, it's a beautiful day. I'm sure we're gonna have afternoon storms again. It's been raining during the night and even the storms came over again yesterday afternoon, and I was like, oh, that's what happens in Queensland is we have afternoon summer storms. So it was kind of awesome. All right, so hi Olivia. All right, let me share this. And then I'm going to start by talking about the cicada because the cicada is really significant to, number one, be on my front door, and then also how that relates to the base chakra and our life purpose and our physical reality, which is all base chakra stuff going on here, yeah? All right, let's have a look here. Sharing this live stream. Yes. All right. I don't know if you can hear that noise. That's just my dogs deciding that they're really hungry and so they're going to eat all their biscuits now. I'm standing right here with them. All right, awesome. Done. It has been shared. So the cicada. Oh, you're having storms in Ireland as well. That's amazing. So hi Richard. Hi everyone. Yay. All right, so the cicada. Yeah, the cicada is an amazing creature that I just showed on the start of this live stream. It is massive. Like usually they're only, I've seen them about that big, but this guy's like huge, yeah? And so I'm reading out of Scott Alexander King's book about the cicada, and I'm going to start reading this to start our base chakra consciousness for our live stream today. So cicadas are sap-sucking insects. Interesting, we've been talking about the insects. Hi, Alana. Cicadas are sap-sucking insects that spend the first 17 years of their life, depending on species, underground in nymph form after hatching from their eggs, feeding on the sap obtained through the roots of the host tree. When it is time to break free of their nymphal case, they dig their way out to the surface and climb the trunk of the nearest tree, where they discard their alien-like outer skin to be found by curious children. Some cultures kept cicadas in grass cages for the symbol of resurrection, immortality, eternal youth, and control over greed. According to Aboriginal spiritual lore, the cicada is a significant tribal totem that offers vitality. Some tribes expect that a member of the cicada clan will only marry one from a crow tribe. Cicada's unique life cycle illustrates the necessary and healthy balance between darkness and light that is required to live a fertile life. It balances the feminine with the masculine, as well as the cycles such as day into night, death into rebirth, the old age wisdom of winter into the life-renewing energy of summer. In fact, cicada's shrill song heralds the arrival of summer. So this is, and I really wanted to share that, okay? Oh, Alison, you had a miscarriage 2 weeks ago. So sorry to hear that. I was going to do a live stream on fertility and fertility loss, infant loss. I think I still need to do that, hey? I was getting that message, but I didn't do it yet. Yes, you caught me live, yes. And you just lost your baby sister to suicide. Wow. Do you have someone that you're working with for support, Alison? Because that's a lot to carry on your own. So, yes, so the cicadas, right? And the cycles, yeah? Like the main piece about cicadas is cycles. Now, like I said, really interesting that I'm talking about this, because when we talk about base chakra, everybody's like, what's my life purpose? How do I find my life purpose? How do I, like, what is it? Like, how do I find my purpose? Like, what is it? And it's like, well, it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people come to me for, so a lot of people come to me to find their life purpose. And what ends up happening is we're working through all the relationship crap, either currently going on in their life or from way back when, because when we're carrying all that stuff in our womb, remember we talked about in our sacral chakra last week, and if we've got stuff in our sacral chakra, or grief, or, like baby miscarriages, like all that sort of thing, and I will do a live stream on it because it's really important. I have done a live stream on fertility and loss as well in the past. So the cycles, right? And we talk about in the womb, and when we talk about, like the cycles of life, and, like the 9-month healing cycle and the 9-month birthing cycle, and, like talking about our life purpose is a cycle, right? In a sense of like, it's always evolving, it's always growing. It's not just this one thing and we do this forever. Like we could do that forever, right? But we also do lots of other things. And the other piece about it is that life purpose, sorry, my dogs are just deciding to have breakfast as soon as I start recording, of course. So our life purpose includes our entire life. It's every aspect of our life. So people are like, oh, what am I supposed to do for my career? Or what's my purpose? What's my gift? And I'm like, yeah, but it's every single area. So if you're not tending to every single area in your life, then one aspect's going to be pulling the other bit down, and it's like this big anchor weight pulling everything down, right? And so that is why, as well, in the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose, the divine step number 1 is honesty. Because when you are honestly looking at all these different areas in your life, you're able to have a good, clear picture view about what is actually going on, right? So you might be like trying to focus on career and money and finances, but your relationship's going to shit. Well, that's going to drag everything else down, right? And you doing this and avoiding that is like, you don't want to look at it. You're avoiding it, yeah? So it's like a subconscious block. So with the day and the night, the cicada and the cycles is really interesting to like that even come up there, right? So that's like the physical aspect of the cicada. Like they spend their first 17 years of life underground, and then they come out and they've got wings and they're like flying around, and they're these amazing little creatures. But the actual message of cicada dreaming is a wake-up call. It offers a chance to release the past, and live the future prosperously. So like I said, if you're trying to like do your life purpose and you're like, yeah, I gotta like do this thing, but you've got all this shit that you haven't dealt with in your past, you're not gonna be able to live your future prosperously while you're carrying around all this crap. Yeah? And that's why when a lot of people come to me, okay, what about my career and my purpose? And there's all this emotional baggage or family baggage or relationship past stuff or current stuff that you're not dealing with. There's no way that you can birth your purpose with all the crap going on. Like you can, okay, you can. However, it's like when you're avoiding dealing with the crap, That's when it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Or, you know, if you're not grounded in a home or grounded in a base somewhere, or you have support, base chakra is all about support. It's your back, yeah? A lot of people have lower back pain, which is financial issues, yeah? So if you get lower back pain, it's financial issues, you're not feeling supported financially. And then so you're in this like stress, fear, flight or fight state, which in that sense, right, is a very contracted sense. So when we look at the base chakra, it is about trust. Yeah, it's about trust and feeling safe. Now, if you can imagine, when we feel safe and we're trusting, like, oh, we can relax. And it's a very expansive, relaxed energy. And then all the things want to come in, right? Because it's like, it's not tight and contracted and in fear, right? And that is like pushing everything away. Like stuff wants to come in and it's like, whoa, what's that? Right? But a really trusting, relaxed state allows all the good things to come in. We stay in flow, we feel good because we're relaxed, we're not in fear and trusting. Yeah. So giving birth to a baby or to life purpose projects has a big effect with the base chakra, right? Because if we're in fear, we don't trust, and we've got all this past baggage that we're like hanging on to, that's going to really like nothing can be birthed out of a contracted hole, right? Literally, yeah. When it's relaxed, open, flowing, everything can come in. Everything is allowing, like the energy flows there, yeah. So when we look at the cicada message, specifically for the base chakra, cicada dreaming is a wake-up call. It offers a chance to release the past and live the future prosperously. It represents harmony between yin and yang, the balance between dreaming, conception, and action, and a shift from depression to clarity. Yeah? Restraint to freedom, from weakness to strength. Yeah, so cicada is a very, very powerful animal totem, funnily for the base chakra, that if you're not dealing with something from your past, it is going to affect your future, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to like delve into everything all the time. It's just that if you're going along in your life and something isn't working, or you keep hitting up against a block, or something is like, what is happening here? Like when we are able to actually know that, oh, we're stuck, or there's a block, or something, we can't move any further, that's when we go, okay, what is actually surfacing here? What is coming up from the past? What do I need to look at, right? It might not be to do with the past. Usually something in the right now that has a stem to the past, and that's why it's important to look at both, yeah? And then also be able to recognize that, to be able to shift it, rather than just be able to like try and push through that, because it's like coming from this contracted space, because that contracted like space is like pulling, right? Whatever happened back here in your past is like pulling on this thing, right? If you imagine like a cord or elastic band, you're only going to get so far, and it's just going to be like, and all this like tension, right? And so when you can actually recognize that space, right, and then look behind or look at what's going on and unpick, then, you know, you release that and you move further away from that, and then you're like, oh, I can flow again. You guys know that feeling when you've shifted through something. It's like, oh, everything is like flowing again, right? All right, what do we got here? Yeah, Alison, sounds like you're really needing support. So yeah, I do work with clients. If you'd like to book in, we can go deeper on that. Yeah. Yeah, so I work with people online. Doesn't matter if we're in lockdown or not. Working with being able to shift out big trauma like that. Yeah, I definitely book in for support. Sounds like you really, really need that. Whether it's me or somebody else, just, yeah, definitely need that support. Okay. All right. So out of the base chakra, the biggest factor in being able to birth your purpose is feeling safe. Now, when we go through change, yeah, we it's a big change, right? We get in when we're just doing our normal life, when we're in our daily routine and everything's like, you know, consistent, and even though things change a little bit, we know we're going to wake up, we know we're going to go to work, we know we're going to do the kids, we know we're going to do whatever it is, right? But when we, like, there's a career change or a house move change, or, you know, any sort of change, a relationship breakup or something else that happens, what you have to realize is that that will like create the like free flowing and to this, yeah. And the fastest way to manifest your desires, the fastest way to birth your reality, the fastest way is to create safety. Now, do you guys know how to create safety? Do you guys even know what that is? Let me know. Like, give me some examples. Like, how do you feel safe? How do you feel safe in the world? Hi, Donnie. Hannah, I just started hurting in my lower stomach as I was talking. Yeah, so lower stomach is moving from sacral down into base, yeah? So something's birthing, something's moving through. Now, remember last week when I was talking about the sacral chakra and I said it has a direct connection with the third eye, because that symbol that I use in light field yoga for our sacral chakra is the same. Yeah, we just place it down on our stomach. Yeah, and our third eye and our sacral are both one in from the top and the bottom, and they both look the same. Our gut looks like our brain, right? And so they're very, very connected. So in the gut, in your intestines, there's a lot of relationships and stuff that happens, and we're also holding on to a lot of the past in our intestines because we're experiencing life, and this is where we're digesting life. So if we're not digesting the reality that we're seeing, then it all clogs up, and then we're trying to birth our purpose, or we're trying to feel safe, or we're trying to ground into what we're doing with all this other crap there. It just doesn't really take. Yeah, it doesn't really take. So again, it's important why we do these clear outs and be able to look at what is happening there. So when you say you've got pain there, Deborah, something that I said might have just gone whoop and like shifted that through there. I'm not sure what part of it was that I was talking about with that. Hi guys, seeing all these new people join live. Yeah. So when we look at creating safety, right? Creating safety is that people are like, how do I trust my intuition? How do I know what my purpose is? How do I do all these things? And I'm like, okay, what is your self-care? How do you take care of yourself? And they're like, what? What's taking care? What are you talking about? So when we look at birthing base chakra, when we look at birthing our life purpose, yeah, it's definitely around feeling safe, being able to take care of our physical reality. Yeah? We need to take care of our physical reality. So in the physical reality, yeah, something that happens when we hit base chakra, relationships. Why? Because of everything I just said. Okay, so, and especially when we're starting to move in the direction of our life purpose, all the relationship stuff will come up. Why? Because for all our life, all our chakras that we've gone through over the weeks, we've been seeing relationships, we've been having these energetic dynamics with a relationship of a person, with a person of anyone, right? It doesn't matter who it is, okay? If you change in any way, shape or form, the energy dynamic is going to change because you're no longer this person that fits into that puzzle piece of the energetic dynamic, right? You've changed and grown, so you kind of, something's amiss here. It's different. It's not amiss and wrong. It's different. It's changed. And so this person's going to feel that. They're not necessarily going to know what that is, and they're going to like try and, hang on a sec, right? Now, if we don't know what that is and what's going on, we tend to go back into this. And we're like, put our purpose to the side, and we're like, oh, I better not do that. Yeah? And so that's why it's so important to recognize what's happening, to know that you have a purpose and to do it anyway, and to allow that person to either rise with you or fall out of your life, because that will happen too. Yeah? So when we hit the base chakra, we also hit facing hard bang, smack bang reality of what's happened in our physical relationships in our life. Yeah. Now, it could be relationship, like every time we hit the base chakra, it could be relationship that is like smack bang in your face. It could be physical reality. It could be like bills or finances, or like, oh my God, like how did I just let that go? Like what was I thinking? Like why didn't I pay attention to that, or anything like that? It could be home, like your home life, like how did I let my home get like this? How come I don't have a home? I need a home. I need to ground my base. Like home is really, really significant of base chakra. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let me check these comments here. Yeah, so when we hit base chakra, we get smack bang with reality, because at the base chakra, we hit physical reality. And if something is off or amiss, and it's not in full alignment, it's gonna be in our face. Yeah, and it's not like it's bad or wrong, but it enables us to get clear and clear it up so we can move ahead on our life purpose again. Yeah. All right. Yes, the support group would be awesome. Yes, so Deborah says I'm starting dancing. Yes, awesome. Yes, perfect. Releasing the addiction sounds good. Think it's shifted. Yeah, my self-care is good and getting so much better. Yes, awesome. All right. Hi, Josephine. Frogs reminding us to have patience with ourselves. Thank you, my hair. Thank you. Yes, stay in, but recognize it's not a match anymore. And that's right. And that's the thing, like, so that we have to leave every single situation. Sometimes we do. Sometimes it's a smack bang reality because we've shifted and we've got more self-care on board, or we've got more self-worth on board, or we're actually growing in loving ourselves more, and then realizing this cold, hard smack bang reality of situations in our life that actually aren't that loving, and we've been in this environment because that's been normal for us and that's been loving, but now we've grown and shifted to what love actually is, or loving ourselves more and caring for ourselves more, and realizing that actually I'm not sure if this is in alignment anymore. And it can be one of the biggest like decisions you ever make, right? However, sometimes that decision is made for you if you are not listening to your intuition and paying attention to take the action to change it. Okay, it can be really smack bang in your face, base chakra. Oh my God, like what is happening? Because the base chakra is about action. Yeah. The base chakra is where we implement the ideas that we receive from spirit, and they come down and we see the truth and we go through all the chakras, and then base chakra is moving forward. It's connected to our hips. It's connected to our reproductive system. It's connected down on the ground. It's the earth. We birth babies through that. We go to the toilet, like stuff comes into physical reality, right? Like that is literally like a smack bang space, because it's about taking action. So if you haven't been paying attention to the ideas, if you haven't been listening to your gut feelings about what you know you need to take action on and change in your life, when you hit the base chakra on this chakra consciousness journey, or if you decide to do base chakra consciousness of your own accord because it's calling you, there may be these hard smack bang reality wake up calls, and if you haven't taken action, or if you don't, the universe will do it for you. Yeah, and that can be a little bit confronting, to say the least. Yeah. My vibration has shifted. It's stopped now completely. Oh, I wonder what that's about. My words are so strong. Yes. You're so welcome. Hi, Joy. Yes, isolation has helped me. Got to step back, and I think you said, and broke a lot of bad relationships. Yeah, it's so important. It's so important, right? And this is the thing where I've said, like, all this year in lockdown, I'm like, it's making us face our stuff. We can't keep going to work. We can't keep going on the treadmill, right? That keeps us avoiding the very thing that's dragging us back. Yeah, so it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's definitely powerful when you can have the courage, solar plexus, to take your power back and actually turn towards it instead of avoiding it and continuing on with this block, right? And wondering why we're burning out and like, why isn't it working? And we're burning out because this is heavy to drag around. That's why, right? Clear that and you all of a sudden got your energy back. Yeah. So Amber says, I've been making my chakra intention candles. Yum. Planning my roots through my personal healing journey. Awesome. Yes. Sounds amazing. All right. So what else for the base chakra? Let's see. All right. So we've spoken about physical relationships, physical home, and taking care of all the physical things, right? So this is really important too. So and it's a little bit of a fine line and a little bit contradictory. Because, you know, when we are specifically speaking about building our purpose, building our business, building whatever we're doing, sometimes we need to make sacrifices in the short term to gain in the long term, okay? Now, anyone who's building a business will probably know what I'm talking about. And it's not about like sacrificing, you know, everything forever, but sometimes we need to do to get ahead, right? It could be like sacrificing going out on the weekends or sacrificing bad relationships. You can actually understand what's actually going on in the picture, because when we're in it, it's hard to see. When we step back or we are removed from the situation, like what lockdown has done for a lot of people, we're like, oh, right? But when we're in it, it's harder to see it, and it's also harder to get out of it because we don't really know what we're seeing. It's just normal for us. But when we step back, we're able to kind of see a bird's eye perspective and be able to see the darkness we're in. We come back, we're able to see it from a bigger picture. We're able to see the light, talking about the yin and the yang and the cicada dreaming on this live stream, and being able to really recognize what is your piece in it, what is your part in it, and taking responsibility for that. So when we're moving forward, there are sacrifices that need to be made. And maybe that's, you know, some people get really triggered by that word. They're like, you shouldn't have to sacrifice anything to da da da. And I'm like, okay. So are you like where you want to be in life? Anyway, it's a thing, right? It's a thing. And so, oh, as the cicada wants to fly away now. No, leave him alone. I'm not going to eat him. He literally flew off the door. I really wanted to make sure that he was, the message is being heard. There's the dark and the light cycles, yeah? And whilst we are on this 3D physical plane, that is the plane of dimension that we are currently in. If we are not honoring the cycles of life, which is very sacral chakra, yeah, the cycles that we go through in life, if we are not honoring these cycles, then we can't, like, with the honoring, yeah, the dark, the light, the day, the night, if we know how to work the cycles. I was just talking about it somewhere. I was writing it somewhere. When we are able to sacrifice some things, you could look at that as the dark. Yeah, you could look at it as though the dark, because sometimes it feels like we're missing out. Sometimes it's like, at the same time, we know we're doing it because we know we want to be in a different place in 5-10 years time, right? And that is the basis of life purpose. The other basis of life purpose is being able to do what you have, do what you can with what you have. Yeah? Yeah, it's so amazing. It's so amazing that he just flew down. Like, he's literally been on my door all night. Like, he was there last night and I'm like, wow. And I opened the door this morning. I'm like, oh, he's still there. And literally just now wanting to fly down. He's missing a couple of legs. He's so huge though. I don't usually see them this big. So really, really amazing to be able to have that cyclic flow, right? Let's have a look here. Yeah, sacrifice is a thing. Yeah, the birds are amazing here. I know the green, it hasn't been green, but one little thing. No, they don't bite. Okay, so what else am I saying? Okay, so honoring the cycle. So, okay, I'm really struggling to put this into words. Can you tell? I'm struggling to put it into words because this, the message is an experience. Yeah. And so when I talk about, you know, creating safety, yeah, creating safety is routine, but it's also being able to take care of yourself. Now, a lot of people, recovering people pleasers, a lot of recovering codependents, all that sort of thing. They're like, what are you talking about? Ow. Yeah, he was trying to not bite me. He's got his little long thing out. He's wanting to go, I guess. But he's not got his legs. I didn't know they had a big long thing like that. I guess so. It's like, okay, put me down. I don't want to put you down, mate, because my dogs will get it. Hang on, I'm just going to try and put him on. Yeah, there we go. Alright, it's had enough. He's had enough of my skin. Didn't really bite me, but he had like a thing. Anyway, so maybe they do. I didn't think they do. Anyway, okay, so what am I saying? Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is really hard to put into words because it's an experience. Yeah, so when we're like coming down through the crown, through all the chakras, if you guys have been on this chakra journey, if you've followed my journey on the chakra consciousness journey, and then we go down through, you will notice a significant change. You will notice a significant shift if you're literally going through all the chakras. You have smack bang reality wake ups and you're like, oh, I need to deal with this and this and this, and right? When we get to the sacral chakra, right, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of recovering codependence, a lot of other, you know, like people pleasers, like the reason that the world is in a lot of chaos, the reason that the world and a lot of people have a lot of trauma, they simply don't know how to take care of their reality. Like, we are not taught that in school. We should be taught that in school. Yeah, we are not taught how to take care of ourselves. We're taught to sacrifice our needs to put other people first. We're taught to, you know, like all this backwards stuff. It's all backwards, right? So when we have our spiritual awakening and we learn to take care of ourselves, we learn to be able to, you know, implement these ideas, we learn to take care of ourselves and take our power back and love ourselves and put ourselves first and nourish ourselves. When we can master this reality, when we come down through the chakras and we are mastering the truth of what is physically happening in our physical reality, again, that's where we hit the base chakra, right? The physical reality is mastered through us being consciously aware of it, seeing what's really going on, hearing our intuitive guidance, taking action on that, living our truth, not just speaking it, but speaking up for situations that aren't aligned with us anymore. That's honoring our heart, that's taking our power back, that's nourishing our soul, because we're not hanging around in situations that keep us in the dark, right? And we're able to have the trust and faith and courage to follow our intuitive guidance, to be able to move forward on our purpose and move into the light. But it comes with being able to take care of our physical reality. I have some people come to me and they're like, Hannah, what's my purpose? I need to do past life work. And then in the same sentence, they're like, and I'm in this like domestic violence relationship and I can't get out and I don't have a home and I don't have a job and I don't have anything. And I'm like, honey, you need to sort out your physical reality. People go crazy when they're doing spiritual work and they haven't sorted out the physical home or being able to take care of their basic needs. Like, that's when we get put into mental asylums. We're like doing our spiritual work and we're not grounded and we're not able to take care of our physical reality. And they're like, what's my blocks to manifesting? Why aren't I manifesting this stuff? Why isn't it working? And I'm like, okay, well, how's your financial situation? And they're like, oh, it's like they like flare up or whatever, right? Big reactions to money, right? In a sense. And it's usually because they don't have any or struggle with it. And it's because they're not taking care of it. Yeah? So it's not just taking care of your finances and your home. It's also taking care of your body. It's also being able to look after all of your physical reality. Like, this is divine step number 8 in awakening your life purpose. If you want to know how to awaken your life purpose, you want to know what your life purpose is, you need to take radical responsibility for your reality and everything that you have right now. Because if you're not, and you're leaving things in the dark and it's dragging you down and you're wondering why you're so tired and you're not looking at that thing that's dragging you down, then you're not going to get the ideas to flow in, because this is kind of anchoring you down. Then the next idea can't come in yet, right? So divine step number 8 in the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose is responsibility. We need to take a look at our relationship, at our reality, right? And what addictions are we using to cover up that bit of reality for why? If we're not dealing with that, the next thing is not going to be shown to you. It will feel like you're on a treadmill, and it will feel like you're stuck, and it will feel like this because you're not taking responsibility for the reality that you have walked into in your life. Base chakra. Yeah? Really, really important. Kind of like I must guide onwards, but I'm guiding myself. I'm not sure what you mean there. Yes, that is my mission, is to bring these teachings into schools. Or eradicate schools altogether, but that's a process. And the sacrifice is being with ourselves instead of spending time with others. Yes, it's how we experience all the spiritual growth within ourselves, and it's necessary to shift. Yeah, and we can grow in relationships, but it's really important to be able to be comfortable on your own too, because if not, again, base chakra, in fear, something's going on there to look at. Yeah? Mind, body, and spirit. Yes. Crappy codependence in this time. Yeah. Hi, Penny. Nicola says, yeah, so right, and totally get this. Let that shit go. Yes. Yes, definitely. Carla says, thank you so much, Hannah. This resonates so strongly with me. You're beautiful. I love your energy and your light. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, send me a message, Alison, for sure. There's lots of different programs that I have that can work with people if you're needing help and support to face the reality that you've been avoiding, because if you're not dealing with it, again, and the 12 divine steps, guys, so the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose, I am holding in next year. Okay, we're doing one a month over 12 months, because there's 12 and there's 12 months in a year. So in 2021, in my reality awareness support group on Facebook, we are going through the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose. So it's free. You can send me a message, or if you type in the Facebook search bar, Reality Awareness Support Group, and request to join, and I can let you in there. We'll start in January, and that's all free, right? And we go in depth of the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose. And, you know, and this is like a guidebook for life in a way, because the divine step number 1 is honesty. And again, when we look at honesty, you know, like I had this conversation with someone on the weekend, and they're saying all this stuff. They're like, you're being dishonest with yourself. And I'm like, what? I was like, for me, I'm like, what the hell? Because honestly, honesty is like the number 1 principle I live by. And I was like, so you know how like my intuition's like really on point, and how like people say, oh my gosh, you're so psychic, or like, gosh, how does she know that? And it scares the shit out of people at times. Do you know what that comes from? Guys, do you know what that comes from? Like, of course, doing the inner work and blah, blah, blah. But do you know what, like, the number one key thing is honesty. If you tell a little white lie, if someone asks you how you're feeling and you're like, yeah, good, but I'm like falling down inside. If you are telling little white lies, tiny little white lies, the little white lie to your children, to your partner, to your friend, to your spouse, to anybody, the little white lie is like a big cloud sitting on your aura. And then another little white lie, and another little white lie. And it's like all these like black clouds sitting in your energy field, because you're lying, you're not being truthful with yourself. Yeah, I cannot lie. It makes me really uncomfortable. I just can't. I'm always telling the truth. I guess that's my lapis lazuli, my snake. I help you realize your truth. But that means that my truth can be quite confrontational for people at times. But it's the number one thing to having clear, accurate intuition is to be 100% honest, is to not lie. So when you are honest with every area of your relationship, especially in the base chakra, because the base chakra wakes you up to the smack bang physical reality that we're living in on a daily basis, you know, like the actions we are taking subconsciously, the actions we are taking without even thinking about it, the actions that we do take consciously and we know we shouldn't take the action, but we still do it, right? When we are able to be honest with our reality, we're taking care of every aspect of our reality, we're able to, look at what that is. The truth sets you free. Yes, exactly. Right? You're not clouded. And the other thing, guys, and I think it was Joy just said, like, I'm so afraid to lie because I'm afraid I'll get caught. So a lot of people have a lot of anxiety because they're not living in their truth, because they're lying to people. And again, it can be like little white lies, or it could be like, oh no, I don't have the money for that, but then they'll go and buy alcohol. Like, yeah, you've got money, you're just choosing where you place your money. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so when we look at those little white, that you're not speaking a truth, right? The lies, they cloud you, and then you wonder why you're in anxiety, because you're not living and speaking a truth. Throat chakra is very connected to base chakra. Yeah, it's like we're able to ground, it's our connection point to the rest of our physical body here. We're either living in our head and we're cut off, which there will be a lot of lies because we're covering up all our feelings. That's why we don't want to be there. But then all the anxiety starts because we know that we're not actually speaking and living the truth. We're not doing those things that we know we need to. We'll say we're going to, right? Too many fake people. Yeah, and it can be so subconscious. And do you know what, guys? Because we're taught that way. We are trained in society to be that way. Whether it's from our parenting paradigm that we've been brought down on, because, like if we're, we're not taught to say, oh, I'm feeling sad today, mum. Like, it's like, how are you feeling? Oh, good, here, give grandma a kiss. Like, and we're like, huh, right? But our truth doesn't matter how we're feeling. It's just as long as we keep them happy, or at school, doesn't matter, what's going on. We just need to do the work and be good enough. Doesn't actually matter how I'm feeling. So a lot of fake people, it's not, I want to say it's not their fault. It's very subconscious because we're being, as a society, trained like that to stay inauthentic to our truth. So that because we're easy to control in that way, because we're in fear. When it comes back to base chakra, feeling safe in the world and free and trusting and open, or in fear because if I don't do this, I'm not going to make that bill, and I'm not going to be able to do this, and oh my God, I'm not going to be loved, and I'm just like a shriveled up, like contracted piece of energy, which attracts all the other parasites, physical and metaphysical, too, and then we wonder why we're still, big cycle, right? Big cycle. All right. Yeah, some people don't like the truth and the honesty. It's really confronting for people. It is really confronting. Yeah. Can't lie. They train to lie. Yeah, as a customer service agent, doesn't feel like a very aligned job then, does it? I wasn't taught to ask, how are you feeling? First, always asking nursing school, never as a kid. Yes, in nursing school, right. The first thing I usually ask people, like, how are you feeling? I don't say like, how are you? I'm like, how are you feeling? Because it gets you in your heart. You have to like think, oh, my feelings. Oh, yeah, how am I feeling? Sometimes very automatic, and we just close it off anyway. All right, what else do we need to speak about the base chakra? So the day, the night cycles, the dark cycles. So the 9 and the 18-month healing cycles. If you haven't watched that live stream and you are wondering what's going on and you can't stop crying, please let me know, because that was a really strong, powerful live stream that came through around the 9-month healing cycles, the 18-month healing cycles, and literally like it's like this space, like a mother is pregnant for 9 to 10 months, and that's how long a manifestation usually takes when we're working on it consistently. And then there's an 18-month portal with that as well, but also with a healing cycle. Now, what's really interesting is that 9-month healing cycle and the 9 portals is like there's an expansion into a 12th at the moment, right? And so when we look at the chakra systems, like I work with 9, well, I work with 8, and then there's integration, which is next week. It's our final week next week, guys. We've got like gone through 8 weeks of a chakra journey. And next week is integration. So I'm really curious if you're following me since back then and how your life has changed or not in that 8 weeks, or the consciousness and awareness, or empowered or not empowered from this information and from the shifts that you've been having in alignment with your life purpose. So when we work with this 9-month healing cycle, it's like being able to expand into a different frequency with the 12, which brings in a whole different, I guess, ball game of energy that we're working with. So 9 is an uneven number, 12 is an even number, so it automatically brings into balance, right? The yin and the yang, working with, you know, like that, the dark and the light. And, you know, if you are in a hard space in your life, like, it can take some time to get out of it. And I think it's unrealistic when we talk about being in reality, about the physical reality. It's unrealistic to think that things will change overnight. You know, like, it takes dedicated, committed, disciplined, consistent practice to turn up again and again and again and again to be able to really realize, you know, where you've been, where you've come from, where you're going. Because usually when we hit a point where we do hit a ton of darkness, we've been through a lot in our life that we haven't dealt with, and then it's kind of time to deal with that so then we can move forward again. So if you are struggling, send me a message. I do have one-on-one programs that I work with people, either the 21-day shifter or the 30-day reality shifter. So yes. So Carla says, yes, I'm doing better with aligning my feelings, words, and actions. Awesome. We come into alignment. Yes, I love that. I do tell little white lies because I'm afraid I can't even say it, can I? I do tell little white lies because I'm afraid to hurt people. I am now choosing to come from love, not fear. Yeah, and so you can say things like, in a sense, oh, and there's 12 online, of course. You know, you can say things like, you know, like, depending on what it is, you can even say, like, I'm really uncomfortable sharing this, but I really need to share this because this is my heart's truth. And are you open to hearing this? You know, you can even say those sorts of words to them as well. There's many ways we can speak our truth like that. 21-day shifter, 2021 goals. Yes. Awesome. Yes, the 21-day shifter is powerful. Yes, way too much pressure on our little ones in society, for sure. All right, so what else is there about the base chakra? So purpose, money, dealing with your physical reality. Like I said, if there's anything you haven't dealt with, it will be shown to you in base chakra. Yeah, it will be shown to you in base chakra week for sure. It is also the time where we do take action on the things that aren't that you haven't dealt with. Do you know what I mean? I mean that we've been thinking about. Yeah, so when we do hit the base chakra, it's not just confrontational reality. It's also that, okay, it's time to do this. And that's the time we actually do take action on the things. Yeah, so it's not all bad, doom and gloom, confronting. It just can feel like that, but it's just because we've got to take responsibility to do something about it. But again, the base chakra is the week where we go, okay, those ideas I've been thinking about, suddenly it's time to do them. Like, do you know what I mean? So it can be that as well. So Josephine says, the shifts have been full on. Yes, full explosions of reality, realizations, like, can't get any more real than this since day before the crown. Yeah, and what is it? Crown chakra, deeply connected to the base chakra. They are both the top and the bottom chakra, you know, like, on our physical body. And so they have a definite connection. Like I said, at the base chakra, the ideas we've been thinking about are the ones that we start implementing on those days as well. So yeah, so base chakra, taking action, life purpose, seeing if there's anything else that wants to be spoken about. Sexuality. Okay, sexuality, really, really important. Okay, because at the base chakra is sexuality. So if we've had any sexual trauma in our life, or even been laughed at, or, you know, any sort of sexual abuse at all, it has an effect on our base chakra energy. Okay, and if we haven't dealt with that and cleared that out, that also then affects finances, physical relationships, career, like the whole thing. It's one of those anchors. Okay, so it's really important to look at that, to heal that. And then also as well, like, looking at, like, your sexuality and your base chakra is your fire. So you can imagine, like, literally a fire in your base chakra, and that fire is like coming up through your chakras. Like, that fire is like fueling your other chakras. So you know how at the solar plexus, the solar plexus is like a big sun, and the sun like powers up all our other chakras, right? So with the base chakra, it's like a fire that fires up all our chakras. It's the Kundalini energy that goes up through all our chakras. Now, our sexuality is deeply connected to our passion, and our passion is deeply connected to our purpose. It's the thing that people say, just follow your bliss, follow what brings you alive. And you're like, what? Right? And that's that fire has gone out, that spark has gone out, right? So when we're looking at the fire, the spark, the, you know, like the passion, trace it back to also sexuality. How comfortable do you feel about sexuality? How comfortable do you feel about your body parts? How comfortable do you feel about touching yourself? Or are you comfortable with other people, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to go and sleep with all these people, but I am saying you have to work on healing sexual trauma in your base chakra to be able to get clear on your purpose, to unblock money blocks, to stop relationship issues. Like, it's a thing, right? And again, that can be like stemmed back into the past. It can be stemmed back into past lives even as well. So looking at sexuality is like literally the passion and the fire. It's the Kundalini energy that comes right up through all of your chakras. And so if that is squelched or the fire has gone out, you need to be working on that too. Like I said, don't have to do that with other people, right? It's really looking at being able to get comfortable with it, and any trauma that's been held in your sexual, you know, experiences is really important to deal with. Otherwise, it's just like big bricks in your base chakra that are weighing you down, that's making you tired, and that Kundalini can't fire up and you know, give life and passion and aliveness to all your other chakras. It's really, really important. Yeah, really, really important. All right, so sexuality, passion. Okay, and the other message that's coming through is that sometimes some mothers shut down their base chakra when they've had a child, and so sex in the relationship as well also, you know, is shut down, and that can cause issues and blah, blah, blah. Now, it's not that it can cause issues, but ultimately for a healthy relationship, there's needs in relationships, okay? And it's about honoring those needs. So if you've had a child, and I know for me, I didn't even know until like my daughter was like 3.5. That's like 3.5 years of being shut down. And that's really big, like especially coming from me, who's a recovering sex addict, right? So when we look at codependent sex addict, so when we look at, you know, like healing the fire and the passion, if that has, and again, this is the cicadas like message, like working through the cycles of like day and night, the dark and the light, you know, like that was like a period where I was like in the dark and then coming to the light, and I did go to the extreme for a bit there. And then it was like then coming into the balance and actually going, oh, hang on a sec, like really working on these issues of where that addiction even stemmed from, is feeling not good enough, not feeling loved, is the only way I knew how to feel loved. Oh my goodness, like all these cycles, right? The heart chakra live stream, if you haven't watched that, they'll go into detail about those cycles as well. So when we look at working with the base chakra, our fire, our passion, our life purpose, taking responsibility, it is looking at the fire in our sexual passion, because it's like, you know, when we really think about the sexual passion and that fire and creativity, that is the essence of life. That creation point is the essence of life. Like when a male and female come together, that is a creative process that another human is born, right? And that's an extremely powerful creative process. Like I know you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And so if you're trying to find your life purpose, or you just feel depressed or anything like that, that creative fire has gone out, and the spark of life has also gone out. They're deeply interconnected. So if you're shut down in your relationship sexually, or by yourself, or you don't know where your passion or your purpose, or you're just feeling like look at those aspects, right? Look at because that creativity, right, is what it births our purpose. Yeah, like we get a creative idea and inspiration, and then we're birthing it into reality. Now, the creative fire and the creative passion is literally the same energy as when a male and female come together, okay? So when we can allow that chemistry and that sexuality to be fire, again, it's the Kundalini energy, and it gives life to everything. It births new realities. If we let it, if we don't allow that past to hold us back, which is exactly what Cicada was saying, let the past go. Like it's time to release the past so that you can live the future prosperously, because if you're not dealing with this, this won't happen. It's a thing. It weighs you down. Yeah? All right, is there anything else about, base chakra? So last thing is that purpose. A lot of people think that a life purpose has to be like a spiritual endeavor. It has to be like, I have to be a healer, or I have to do that to be on purpose. And I'm like, no. Your purpose is anything that brings you alive. Your purpose is anything that brings that fire alive. Remember what I just said about the creativity and the passion and like how that's all interconnected. It doesn't have to be a spiritually based career to be your purpose. You have to really understand that, right? It's whatever brings you alive, and your duty and your responsibility is to follow your heart, the inspiration, the things that light you up. Your heart comes alive. You take your power back. You stop putting yourself in negative, harsh, influencing situations that pull you down and weigh you down to the bottom of the ocean floor and trapped in a soul cage, right? You release yourself from those things. That is your duty. That is your responsibility, to be able to find your passion. And it doesn't have to be a spiritual career to be your purpose. Your purpose is to awaken that passion. Your purpose is to awaken that fire. And whatever that looks like in your life, follow that and keep following that. Yeah, that is the key. It doesn't have to be a spiritual career to be your purpose. A lot of people get that confused. Yes, we use spiritual tools, and we usually do a lot of healing work to clear out the crap, right? That's usually a spiritual thing, right? We're doing whatever tools with that. But that doesn't mean that your purpose is about spiritual healing. Like, it could be, it could very well be, right? But it can also be something completely different that just brings you alive. That fire, that aliveness, that's what you want to find. That's what you want to follow, yeah? That's the purpose of life. So Josephine said, sexual journey just popped in my mind. I'm sensing there's also a journey involved with our sexuality, isn't there? With age and how we experiences affects it. Yes, definitely. And how to get healthy sexual drive back. Yeah, 100%, definitely. It's definitely a thing. And if we've got all this hurt in our heart and we're carrying, the connections to old lost loves and relationships, like, well, that sexual fire is not going to be in your current relationship when they're still plugged into the old one, is it? So that's why it's really important to work on releasing that from your current situation, yeah? Well, the past stuff influence your current situation. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they're like in this relationship or in this marriage or having a child or creating this life with people, and they're still plugged into old lost loves or old relationships. And I'm like, well, like if you're not, and a lot of the issues have been like, this person's not fully committing to me, or this person's like not 100% there for me. And I'm like, but if you're still plugged into old relationships and you're still kind of hanging on to that, how can you expect them to be 100% if you're not 100%? So it's really looking again, these plugs, these past bits that the cicada is saying, these cycles need to be released. These past needs to be released to be able to live the future prosperously. Let me read that again. It's a really important message. So cicada. Cicada dreaming is a wake-up call. Smack bang reality. It offers a chance to release the past and live the future prosperously. It represents harmony between yin and yang, the balance between dreaming, conception and action, and a shift from depression to clarity, restraint to freedom, and weakness to strength. Yeah, definitely amazing animal totem that came through unexpectedly on our Base Chakra Consciousness live stream. That is our Base Chakra Consciousness, guys. If you think this can help somebody, please share it in there. Send it to them in a message, tag them in the comments. The Crystalline Chakra activations, the link is in the top of this live stream, or you'll find it on my page or on my website as well. And the Crystalline Chakra activations are in the essence with this series, and it doesn't matter if you're just purchasing them now and working with the base chakra now, because wherever you come in on this chakra consciousness journey is the open portal that is calling your attention to be able to work with that chakra. So some people think, oh, I just need to start with the crown. And I'm like, well, if you've come in at the base chakra, that's what needs attention, but it's also the open door, because maybe you need to work with the base chakra to set fire to the rest of the chakras to actually get going again, or have the clarity or the passion or anything else coming back into your life. So the Crystalline Chakra activations are part of this series. These are a very different frequency of energy that I'm been channeling through in the Crystalline Chakra series, because this as we move into 2021, but also where we are at December 21st, 2020, there's a big high frequency shift, and that portal between the 25th of December and the 1st of January is a super, super high frequency, and is being able to hold the capacity of that. I think a lot of people are going to struggle over that Christmas period coming up, because I have a feeling there might be other lockdown stuff going on, or, like it's all connected to that, right? But when we actually work with that super high frequency, if we don't have the physical body or the energetic body capacity to hold that, so if we have been ignoring our intuition and all these plugs to our past and all of that are stuck down there, that drains our energy, and so our energy hasn't been fully aligned to receive the energetic upgrades naturally. So we're going to be more flawed, we're going to be more exhausted, we're going to be more like, what's going on? And so when we can actually release all of that, align our energy frequency, we're able to hold the new energy upgrades that are happening so naturally and rapidly on our planet. So the crystalline chakra activations enable your body to be activated through each chakra. There's 9 of them in there, to allow yourself to hold the frequency and to be able to convert that energy frequency into your physical body, into the 3D reality that we live today. Yeah. So yes, excited for 2021 growth with you. Yes, you're so welcome. Carla says, I'd like to work with you more. Yes, for sure. You're so welcome. Perfect timing. So yeah, if you guys need help or support, you can send me a private message. There's either like my 21-day shifter program, my 30-day reality shifter. They're similar but same but different. Or you've also got there's the Goal Reacher program, there's the Inner Circle, there's lots of different things that you can work with. But if it's the first time you've worked with me, 21-day shifter program or the reality shifter is probably the best ones. All right, guys, lots of love to you. Take action on those inspired ideas that come through, because the faster you implement those inspired ideas that come into your crown from your claircognizance and that gut feeling that you've got to take action and just do the thing, even though you don't know how, that's where base chakra happens. That's where your purpose opens up, when you are letting go and releasing the past and taking action on your future at the same time. I love you guys heaps. Mwah.